I used to go to strip clubs like all the time when I was younger, like 19, 20, 21. Me and my boys would go all the time, but I grew out of it, thankfully. But I saw some weird and funny things when we were there. I mean, one of the craziest things we ever saw was we showed up to this place in Ottawa, and the star of the show that evening was like a little person. And she basically was just doing her workout routine on stage. And to give her credit, I mean, she was literally jacked. She was ripped. Aren't they all, though? They're super sturdy. They're thick. But and that's a compliment. But yeah, she was just doing her workout routine, and when we pulled into the parking lot that evening and we saw the billboard that says like the Newton presents midget night, that's what they called it. We were like, "Oh shit." We didn't intend on coming to this, but it was a funny surprise. So we went in, obviously we had to. There was still some normal girls working, so I spent the majority of the night with them in the back, but I did watch, the star of the evening, the star of the show for a couple, I don't know, maybe an hour with the boys. It was a good time. If you spend a lot of money on a girl at one of these places, they'll often offer you to take it to like the next level, if you catch my drift. And I would never do this. I never did it. I think it's a low, but I do understand how people succumb, pun intended, to the offer. And my buddy was no different. She cast a spell on him, she had him in a trance. And when she popped the offer, he agreed. But I don't know how you would finish to like an uninterested stripper hand job, but somehow he did, and it was faster than either of them expected. So she just pulled his shirt over it, and then he was just rocking the greasiest stain all night, and we were ripping on him. He was embarrassed. But one of my other friends came back from a smoke when we were chirping him, and he was like cluing in to what happened. And instead of ripping on my buddy, he just like stood up and was like, "Where? Which one?" So that was pretty jokes. I mean, you could probably piece together where he went. One of the weirder things, though, are the regulars at these places. I mean, I would run into some of the like cringiest, oldest, like before Discord, before the internet, there was Discord mods. That's kind of the vibe. And they're always like super cocky. Like they genuinely think it's a flex how much they're spending and how frequently they are there. They will discuss that at length with you. It's like the first thing they're going to talk about with you. It's how they're always there. They'll crack a joke like, "Yep, I mean this place, it'll eat your life savings." You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Some of them are also very confrontational. I mean, if you go out to like one of these strip clubs like smoking areas, there's always super old dudes. If you're smoking weed, they will all ask to hit it. Pause. They will all want to get in the roto. And then you have to say no to everybody because they're all super weird old regulars at a strip club. They're not hitting the joint, they're not hitting the blunt. And then they're mad. They're immediately mad when some like young kid is there and denies them. They take a hit to their ego. They get very confrontational. And normally, like, we're all the calm, sane, showing some reason in the confrontation. The old guys are the guys who like pop off and just start spazzing, like threatening to kick your ass even though they're like cross-eyed and can barely stand. They're just hammered. I also met this regular one time who literally, I guess when the strippers would come in town and they were like down bad or didn't have enough money for rent, they would live with this guy. This guy like basically funded the establishment. But yeah, he would just fund this place, I guess. Like he was like always flexing how he was, keeping a roof over their head, keeping this place afloat. That's all he would ever talk about, how he's basically donated every cent of his life to this place like it isn't the saddest thing any of us had ever heard. One of the cooler things, though, that ever happened to me at this place is the very first time I ever went, I accidentally went to a gentleman's club. The difference in Canada, strip club, you can touch the girls. They want you to touch them. The girls will touch you. Whatever. That sounds creepy saying it like that, but it is what it is. Gentleman's club, you do not touch them. It's like a strip club in the States. So yeah, we went to a gentleman's club and it was just kind of like whatever, older women working. It was whatever. But there was like one younger girl there who was going to the university in the town. Well, she was like hella down to just post up and chill. And she gave me some free dances and stuff because she was just relieved that there was like kids in there who were her age. And, it wasn't just some 50-year-old creep. So she just hung out with us all night. She was super cool. She let me smoke weed in the back while she was giving me like a free dance. It was like the best experience I ever had at a strip club, obviously. No, in my life. What am I talking about? Yeah, if you're just like a normal guy, especially a younger guy who's well dressed, put together, respectful, has money, and so are your friends, I mean, they're gonna love you. They act like they love the regulars, and the regulars think like the girls treat them like amazing. But the girls hate the regulars. They don't fuck with them. If you come in and you have money and you're just like a regular kid, I think they're just like relieved to be not dealing with an absolute greaseball. So usually they have all like fucked with us pretty heavy. They're definitely finessing us for money. Don't get me wrong. They still would drain our accounts, but yeah, we were just getting finessed. The drinks though are so expensive. It's actually out of this world. There's this strip club in Toronto that the majority of people go to. It's called the Brass Rail, and the drinks are disgustingly expensive. I mean, we didn't know it the first time we went. We later came up with this whole scheme. I'll get into it, but when we first went there, I ordered a beer, like just a regular Coors Light, and that shit was like it was somewhere in between like $15 to $20 for one beer. My buddy ordered a double rum and coke, and that shit was like $44. The drink they run such a scam. That was early on. We were noobs, we didn't know yet that you're supposed to show up at like 11:30 already fucked up and you get one drink. If you don't get one drink, you can't stay. They'll kick you out. So when we went to this place in Toronto, we would just go across the street to a dive bar and just get cheap beers and cheap shots over there. We would just get more fucked up there, then cross the street again, get back into the club using our stamp. We just did that all the time. Like I would go back and forth like 5 times if I went for the night. One time my friend almost bankrupted me because we were all across the street eating Popeyes and we were going to head off to the train to head home. The night was coming to an end, but I realized he was missing and we were spam calling him endlessly because we didn't want to miss this last train and we could not get a hold of him. He ended up being like upstairs in the rooms where you get a dance in and he was at the ATM just getting NSF. He had completely emptied his bank account that night, whatever savings he had in there. So I had to go up there and bail him out like $200. Dumbass. But we missed the train, by the way, as well. So we had to take the bus home and then the subway. And it was late as hell. It was I think I got home at like 5 a.m. It was fucking insane. One time I was in the back room of one of these places and I was back there with a thick girl, my cup of tea. Well, she kept hitting me in the face with her tits. And I was egging her on, I was like, again, again. And she just did it. And one time she did it so hard that it completely split my lip open and I didn't notice. And when I walked out, my face was like, had a bunch of blood on it. Like it was actually dripping down from my lip. And my friends were like, oh my God, what the fuck happened to you? I just thought it was funny, at the strip club, get hit in the face with a tit so hard, I was bleeding. But yeah, that's my experiences. Pretty fun time. I'd go back if I went with like a bachelor or a huge group of guys, but I'm not trying to go every weekend anymore. Fuck that. They're weird places, but they're hella fun. Peace.